Shalom, this is your brother Tazaya Amah, GMS Valdosta, Georgia, coming out with another weekly lesson. And I pray that it be edifying. But first we want to give all praises and glorifications to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, Great Millstone, for teaching us the true knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. I want to say Shalom and Ahab to all the brothers and sisters that's striving and thriving in this same 100% true doctrine. Shalom. Today's lesson pretty much based upon how prophecies are fulfilling. And one in particular is how Yahweh Shai is causing these devil tongues to fall against themselves. And without further ado, I'm going to play a little clip from this podcast, African Diaspora. And it's for educational purposes only, no monetary, value, for us, receiving any kind of revenues. And with that being said, I'm going to play this clip right here.
They charge you to hold your newborn. It's called skin to skin, something like that on the bill. But yeah, I just found that out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I see some of y'all responses.
Okay, basically what that lady was saying was that in America, right after giving birth, and they bring you your baby to hold and caress and admire your own baby, they charge you for that in America. Imagine that. And that's the case of their tongue speaking against them. How many people knew that they charge you for holding your baby after giving birth? That's crazy. Okay.
I'm gonna play it again. But some of the things that she says sounds quite familiar, right? How many times have we said the exact same things? How many times? How many times have we looked at and said it shouldn't be like this? How many times have we said that? How many times have we told them, hey, your system is screwed up? How many times? Now their system is finally boomeranged and back and hit them, and it's been literally laid in their lap. And then what really got them? Let me tell y'all what got them. What really started this up? It's not just her. Oh, it's many of them. When they had the TikTok ban, okay, and right before the TikTok ban, they had another app. People's going on. They may call it Red Note, but it's called Xiaohongshu. That's the Chinese name of it, but it's Red Note. And when they went on Xiaohongshu, they started to see how people were actually living in China. And then as people started to talk back and forth with Chinese people, the Chinese are real shocked about the way we live in America or the way the systems work. Like a lot of white folks was just shocked about the Chinese talking about property tax. What is that? Like they were shocked what that was. And the Chinese tell them, you mean to tell me every year you got to pay on a house that you own? They said, we only pay one payment. They said that's for like 7.
That's just one of the things that, that's coming to light. How these devils have written unrighteous decrees. Not only, but basically it started out just to oppress so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But hey, the backlash is, hey, now it's affecting them. So now everything is a problem. As long as we were being oppressed, we was having struggle, to put food on the table, maintain a household. Long as the struggle was ours, everybody was good. But now that the struggle have waved over, and as the old saying goes, now that the shoe is on the other foot, people are having a problem with it. And with that being said, I'm going to go to my first scripture, which is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 64, starting at verse 8. Salakia. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, starting at I'm going to start at verse 3. Who whet their tongues like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. These people spoke unrighteous decrees into law and wrote them down, basically to keep you so-called black, Native American, and Latinos in a lower state. Keep you at the bottom. And it was all by design. And even poor white people was okay with it, because they knew, they thought their white privilege was going to keep their head above water, just by being white. That's what they thought. So I'm going to start with the scripture again. Psalm chapter 64, verse 3. Who whet their tongues like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. They lied and convinced poor white people that it was in their best interest to follow code, keep them chains on Jake neck. Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They had no fear. They had no remorse for all these unrighteous decrees that kept Jake at the bottom of the totem pole. They had no problem with it. Like I say, even poor white folks, they assumed that as long as we was at the bottom, that somehow or another they was going to rise to the top. Little did they know that they was shooting their own self in the foot. And with that, verse 5, they encouraged themselves in an evil matter. They encouraged themselves to go along with these unrighteous decrees. They basically what they thought was, okay, I might be poor white trash, but at least I ain't a nigga. That was the sentiment that they had. Now some of them are in a worse state than niggas, and steady declining. As I often bring out sometime the analogy of homeless people that's sleeping up on the bridges and in cardboard boxes, sleeping up under the underpass. So-called black, Latinos, and Native American can't find a resting place for them now. Imagine that. And another scenario is that, hey, whenever the poor white people hit rock bottom, guess what neighborhood they want to hang out in all of a sudden? They don't go hang out in the gated community with people of their own kind. Here they come invading so-called black, Latinos, and Native American spaces. Make that make sense. Psalm chapter 64 verse 6. They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. You know, they search out different scenarios about blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans and push the issue on poor white folks. Number one is fear. They push that on them, having them thinking that, hey, you are in danger also. But you know what? That's a lie. Because white people can walk in a black neighborhood and people will look at them and say, okay, oh well, he's just passing through, or she just passing through. But you try that in their neighborhood and see what happens. Before you know it, there'll be a bunch of squad cars pulling up on you, want your ID, want to know what you're doing there, what your intentions, where you're coming from, where you're going, your whole life history will have to be, exposed for just walking through their neighborhood. Verse 7. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Okay. All those unrighteous decrees that you implemented on the children of Israel, all the atrocities, all the downfalls, all the pitfalls, coming back on you now. And the Most High designed it that way. So, hey, what goes around comes around. Verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Imagine that. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. These devils are in such a disarray now that, hey, they telling on each other now. They giving away hidden secrets about how this society is run and who is run by and what's their intention. You know, the Most High is making them let the cat out the bag. And they doing it fast and in a hurry. But hey, guess what? It's too late now. The damage already been done. That the old saying go, hey, it's too late to close the barn though. The cow already gone. So hey, get ready, as James Brown say, for the big payback. And it's coming your way. And with that, I'm going to move to the book. Let's see. Salaki. Salaki. Everything running slow this morning. I guess the cold weather got something to do with it. Snowed in Valdosta last night. As the scripture said, hey, there's going to be different scenarios happening, hey, in different places, you know. Yeah, we got about, I don't know, maybe half a foot of snow in some places. Okay. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, and I'm going to start at verse 6. Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. Once again, you know, we know these devils are proud. They've been on top so long until, hey, they have no idea or have no train of thought that at some point in time that, hey, this kingdom was going down, this so-called kingdom. You know, they never thought they'll see the day where, hey, they would have to rely on public assistance like Jake had to. You know, that they would have to face hardships that they thought only Jake would have to go through. And you know what? The Most High have conditioned us so that, hey, whenever we are going through something, we know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But these devils, hey, they've been in the light so long until when darkness comes, they don't see no way out. You know, the only way they see out is, hey, put a revolver in their mouth and pull the trigger. Or jump off a 10-story building. Not used to adversity. Psalm chapter 73 verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could desire. Salaki. Verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. You know, as I was saying earlier, as long as Jake is being oppressed, there's no problem. You know, hey, they, you know, oh well, they need to pull themselves up by their bootstrap. You know, that's all it is. You know, they're lazy. They have no ambition. They just want a handout. Okay. Now that they're going through the same situation, do they still have that same spirit? Do they still have that same sentiment? That they need to pull themselves up by their bootstrap? Are they lazy? Oh, they have no ambition? They just want a handout? Verse 9. They set their mouth against the heavens. They even speak against the Most High. You know, I can't understand. What's the purpose of that? Speaking against the Most High. And their tongue walketh through the earth. You know, they go around spreading this nonsense. You know, a lot of them, well, I'm just going to call it what it is. A lot of them are fools because they say there's no God. They have said it in their heart, there is no God. But the first sign of trouble, as a friend of mine told me once about a scenario in Vietnam, he said that someone that proclaiming to be atheist, he said, but whenever they would come up under attack or get ambushed, the atheist would be the first one to say, "Oh God," or "Oh Jesus," or "Lord have mercy." Imagine that. But you don't believe in God. You don't believe in a higher power, which we know God and Jesus is not his name, but they're reaching out to a higher power that they didn't believe in. But they are atheists. Make that make sense. Verse 11. Verse 10, Salaki. Therefore his people return hither, and water of a full cup are wrung out to them. You know what you have meted out to us? You're going to get double. Thus said the Most High Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And they say, how does the Most High know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Of course there is, and you're going to find out the hard way. And he knows and he sees all things. Trust me, his eyes are 10 times brighter than the sun. Verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. As long as these people were prospering, you know, as Jake was at the bottom, you know, they had no problem. You know, they were living their best life. But now that they shoe on the other foot, they're catching pure hell. Because they don't know how to adapt. They never been in a situation where it looked like there's no way out. Like being in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. You've never been in that situation. Now you know. Welcome to the Israelite world. And with that being said, I'm going to close out by giving all praises and glorification to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Yekakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, Great Millstone, for teaching us the true knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. I want to say shalom and a harp to all the brothers and sisters that's striving and thriving in the same true doctrine. Shalom.